In this episode, welcome to our new home, Bookie and the Bettors. Of course, hey Big Ten, where'd that come from? I'm going to take a final look and see just how far Randy's going to throw out the anchor with the University of Nevada Wolfpack. And of course, week 1 of the NFL coming right on up.
It's time for the Bookie and the Bettors show. Live from Baldini's Casino. Beat the bookie. Make every bet count. Reno's #1 sports radio show is now on streaming platforms. Now, introducing the Bookie, Rob Kowalski, and the Bettors, Randy Weig and Nick Schulte.
Welcome to the latest episode of the Bookie and Better. I am your host, Robert Kowalski, joined once again by my favorite friends and colleagues, Randy Weig, Nick Schulte.
Hey, Rob, how you doing?
Pleasure to be here. Whoa! Football season.
First off,
I feel
gentlemen,
like it's like coming up on Christmas. Like it's so
It
exciting.
is.
there's a lot to unpack here. If you take a look around our room here, actually, we're back home. Yes, our show's now being recorded here, right at Baldini's Casino. Can't wait to see all of the friends that get to join us. Oh, yeah. We did say we're going to have many, many guests beyond who we have here at our regular table. So I'm really looking forward to seeing that. I'm just really happy with how everything played itself out. Kudos very, very much to Nick, Chris, everyone involved in getting this really, really
Nice
great
digs.
little studio
Nice.
that we've got for ourselves. Very, very happy with what we have here.
Very professional.
So let's take a look to the past for just a little minute as I saw some things that really jumped out. Randy, you're going to have to tell me I just want to see just how far out you're going to throw out this anchor for the University of Nevada. However, at this time, hey Big Ten, who saw that one coming? They were one field goal win away by the University of Minnesota from going 18-0 in week #1, as it was 17-1. I did not see that, but many of the teams that were ranked, or rather covered the spread by double digits or more, had a monster kind of a week 1 in terms of betting perspective. Definitely against the spread, certainly in the win-loss column. Randy, look, they did play SMU. They seemed like they were going to be outmatched. The point spread was more than 3 touchdowns. They ended up going ahead, got caught, and lost. Going to Troy, 8. I think we closed 7.5 was Troy. Got in front, held on, and came up with a victory. So now, Randy Weig, let's hear it.
Well, and this I've really watched both these games 4 times. And I've got to say, I am impressed the kids didn't quit. If you go back to the last couple of 3 years, and even before Kenny Wilson, if we got down 14-0,
Yes,
we quit.
it's over.
The 2 things that really pop out to me, and let's be honest, Nevada's controlled time of possession in both games against a real formidable opponent in SMU, and Troy's not going to be bad. So to be able to have time of possession on our side, 100-yard rusher. We haven't had a 100-yard rusher in a game since 2018. And I'll tell you, this Savion Red he's a beast. And I think with the platooning the 3 running backs, I was positive on that side. So, there's some comments out there this week in the press conference that Savion's the second best running back in the Mountain West. And I've got to agree. I mean, he had 11 carries for 135 yards this week. And again, when you look at Lewis, he was 17 of 20. Our quarterbacks were 18 out of 21. You're going to win a lot of games if you play that. Don't turn the ball over. So I was impressed. And then I'm going to be honest. The player so far of the year on defense for the Mountain West is our own Drue Watts.
Okay.
He's had 25 tackles in 2 games. We're going to pull an upset. I don't know if we're going to win 5 games, but we're going to beat a formidable opponent during the course of the year.
Roll that back. I don't know if we're going to win how many games?
I don't know if we're going to win 5 or 6 games.
5 or 6?
Yeah.
I'm getting 6.
Well,
Nick, get a pen. Write this down.
When's the
6
last time
wins.
Nevada won 6 games?
That's what I'm saying. I don't know that we will, but we are going to surprise somebody in these next 11 games. Mark my words.
The anchor has been thrown, Nick.
So you really feel like they've kind of turned the corner and they're on
No,
the
we haven't
upswing?
turned the corner. We're young, but the kids don't quit. And the thing is, once you start winning, it's like a disease. The kids believe The kids believe right now, and that's an important thing. And keep
agree.
in mind, if we can stay healthy, we got Georgia Southern this week, who scored 45 on Boise State, but they gave up 56. I like the team and the attitude right now. Coach has got them thinking positive, and let's be honest, they could be 2-0.
I know it.
We know the spread on that game off the top of your
Yes.
head?
Georgia Southern opened as a 2-point favorite.
Okay.
Got bet down to 1.5. There's still some 2s out there. I knew. That's why I led the show with this. I knew this anchor would have been thrown into depths that have never, ever been imagined. Randy, you are this is the greatest. I'm telling you.
It's like Christmas.
No,
It's
it's not. No,
Christmas.
You've overreacted like I've never seen you overreact in my life.
Well, I want to
that's a
reiterate.
statement right
I want to
there.
reiterate. 2018, since we had a guy rush for 100 yards in a game, and we had one, and we almost had one last week in Lewis, who had 77.
All right, so we got, we have a top rusher.
Yeah.
I definitely heard, and please, Chris, write this down.
Huh?
Defensive Player of the Year for the Mountain West,
Right now.
and possibly even 6 wins.
I'm telling you, 25 tackles in 2 games. And again, if you control time of possession and you're 18 out of 21 for your quarterback, you're going to win some ball games. I don't care if you're playing Cupcake State. You're going to win some games when you're 18 out of 21.
You know, there's some things that I knew we were going to talk about on this beautiful Thursday.
Get your silver and blue outfits on.
I just want to know what conference is Cupcake State in?
Well,
Yes,
they
please.
haven't quite made it up to Division One yet.
Boy.
But look at the Big Ten. We talk about the Big Ten. I mean, come on. And even Michigan. They did not look that great in beating a Fresno State team. Fresno State was within a touchdown on the fourth quarter.
Michigan doesn't have their quarterback room in order right now. That's the only thing that I saw. I have a feeling Texas might be in for a big day. I mean, I've got them as a field goal favorite right now, the book of Baldini's, but field goal, I'm sorry, what did I say field goal for? Touchdowns, 7.5 even. It opened smaller, but now
They look very good against
It's gone big.
Colorado
I don't know
State.
if it's more, I'm not that impressed by Michigan as it is how good Texas is, but that's what we're going to find out. Definitely for me, it's going to be the game that I'll be watching probably closest of all. But Randy, I applaud you. That was absolute cinema right there.
Go Pack, baby.
You have thrown the anchor.
I'm getting the eye chalk
No, you're
this
not.
week.
No,
Yeah,
I don't believe this.
I'm wearing the Wolfpack eye chalk this week because we're at war. The War Eagles are coming here. We're at war.
Is that Nevada Blue, too?
Yeah, it is. It's Nevada Blue. I might even have Go Pack.
All right, gentlemen, come on. Let's move on over to the pros. It is, in fact, week 1, and tonight, finally, we are here. Of course, 5:20 p.m. here locally. Ravens and Kansas City Chiefs. We've got Kansas City as a 2.5-point favorite. The total 46.5. Of course, I want to go over every game here, where we're currently at with the spread, the total. Obviously, all these lines are available for you here at our counter just behind us, and of course on our mobile betting platform, which you could download. Come on over. It literally takes you minutes to get yourself an account established. And, of course, we're going to give you a 20% bonus all the way up to $1,000 when you sign up to a brand new mobile
Do you
account.
have a prop this week? We got to find out if there's a prop for Mahomes throwing a behind-the-back pass.
No, I'm not offering that. That's
not?
completely asinine.
Okay. Because we got to question whether or not he's going to do that, right?
I think he'll do it this season.
We know
but
what he's
just
capable
not
of.
against the Ravens.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe not in regular season either. Yeah. Gentlemen, let's touch on this one very quickly here. Kansas City, 2.5. This number's probably been pretty steady. It goes to 3, immediately gets hammered on Baltimore. So 2.5 seems to be about the right number. A lean here. Nick, you first.
I like Ravens' money line on this one. I think Kansas City comes out a little flat off their big Super Bowl win and playing on a Thursday night, and Ravens always look good in the regular season.
I did say that. It's kind of been the going rate with you, and every time we bring up Kansas City, you seem to be selling on that. But not this
a little
week.
bitter, to say the least.
Now, is there a ring ceremony on Thursday night?
For Taylor or for
No, for the Chiefs.
Oh, okay.
You know, traditionally, when you have the big celebration
Yes.
after a championship,
Right.
teams come out flat.
Okay.
I don't know that you can come out flat against this Baltimore Ravens team. I like them. I'm with Nick. This has money line written at all over it. I
Baltimore
like
Ravens
Baltimore.
money line plays for the both of our bettors here at the table. Let's move to Friday. This game is not in Philadelphia, gentlemen. It's being played in Brazil. Game time still 5:20, however. So the Eagles.
Is that 5:20 local?
Yes, exactly. So the Eagles and Packers. This number also kind of just sat there, 2.5. The moment it goes to 3, it's nothing but Green Bay money. So here we are right again. Thursday afternoon, the Eagles, 2.5. The total 49. Randy, you first.
I'm going Eagles. Again, I like the youth with the Packers, and they have Romeo, another Wolfpack elite.
You have many wide receivers,
Romeo
but yes,
Dobbs.
Romeo Dobbs.
I really like the Eagles here. I think it's going to be I don't think the 49. I don't think it'll get to 49. I like 24-17, 24-20, somewhere in that ballpark.
Nick, how about you? This is obviously being played on a neutral field.
I'm not taking
spread.
either side. I mean, every time we've seen these international games, it's just kind of been a coin flip. And kind of to that point, I'm with Randy. I'm taking a second mortgage on this under. Anytime there's an international game, you never see like those offenses kind of get going. So.
Pair of unders. Okay, very good. To Sunday, obviously, these games, of course, are all local, all 10 o'clocks. A couple in the afternoon starting 1:05, 1:25, and then, of course, our night game at 5:20. So from the very top, Jaguars at the Dolphins. The Dolphins are a 3-point favorite, total 49.5. The Pittsburgh Steelers are at Atlanta. Atlanta Falcons are 3 and 42.5. Continuing here with the 10 o'clock games, the Vikings.
Now, Russell Wilson is starting in that game,
Russell
right?
Wilson has been named the starter. Absolutely. He is locked in until further notice. That doesn't mean we're not going to see Justin Fields. Maybe just
absolutely.
Not as a starting quarterback. Not to start the game at quarterback, that's for sure. Minnesota is at the New York Giants. This one flopped from Vikings 1.5 down to 1. Saw a pick earlier in the week, and it's now back up to Vikings 1, the total 41.5. Onwards with some more 10 o'clock games. The Panthers and Saints, they start off their season in New Orleans. The Saints are a 4-point favorite, totals 41. Patriots and the Bengals. This is the largest point spread of the game. Callback to a mention that I'm going to make towards the end of our show. Obviously, we're going to be talking about our survivor. So this is the biggest spread, and it has been since we've opened up the line. So the Patriots catching a full 9.5. The total is 41.
Now, is Jamar Chase playing, or is he still questionable?
Here on Thursday, he's not question. It's not about being questionable. He's perfectly healthy. He's just not paid. So no, he is not on the practice field. He has not practiced, Randy.
Well, again, we'll talk about it. But again, should that spread be lower when you have a guy like that hasn't played, questionable?
And I know we're talking about Survivor, but I mean, I feel like that game has trap written all over it.
3 more 10 o'clock games, and I'm going to take a quick pause. Titans at the Chicago Bears. Yes, I know Nick might have a few things to say about this one. 4.5 is Chicago. The total's 45.5. The Cardinals are at Buffalo. The Bills are 6-point favorites. The total 48. The last 10 o'clock game here is the Texans at the Colts. Houston on the road, 2.5-point favorite, and the total 49. Nick, of the 10 o'clocks, what jumps out at you the most here from a betting perspective?
Well, I definitely like the Vikings. You're basically a pick 'em against the Giants. And granted, they don't have a quarterback, but you still got Justin Jefferson. Probably the best receiver on the field right now. So as long as the running back can pitch it up to him, he can catch it and run with it. So definitely like that game. That's really about it. I do think the Saints come out big against the Panthers. So
okay, very good.
And just to kind of touch on it, if you're the Titans and you got a team and you're going up against this Bears team and you're still not favored, rookie quarterback, I'm not touching it, but
okay.
I think you might see an upset there.
Excellent point. So 10 o'clock games only, Randy. What jumps out to you from a betting perspective?
I think the marquee game is the Dolphins-Jaguars game. Again, does the Jaguars bounce back? Again, last year Lawrence took some heavy hits.
Yes, he did.
But again, with Miami at home and the fastest men in football on that team, I like this game a lot. I think it has a marquee value. And I think we're going to find out how good the Dolphins really are right off game one. I thought that's to me, is the marquee game. The other one, again, back to the point of the Saints and Panthers. The Saints should dominate this game. Again, Derek Carr, can he come out and play the game that they want to play? And can they get the running game going? Because the key with the Saints, if they can't run the ball, they're in trouble.
Is Michael Thomas ever going to play again? Is he still a Saint?
He's good at football, yes. I don't know if he's starting or not anymore, but yeah. It's the Olave's show now. Randy, come on, wait a second. You called out a marquee game. You never even gave a pick here as a bettor.
I'm going Dolphins.
Okay,
I'm going the Dolphins.
You're laying the 3.
I, again, remember a few weeks ago, I have the Dolphins going all the way to the AFC Championship game. So I like them a lot.
The other game that you touched on in the opening slate, so obviously, Dolphins 3. Panthers Saints. You mentioned that one as well. Saints 4 here. Is there a lean on one side or the other?
It's tough to win that first game on the road in the Dome. And again, I believe the Saints have something to prove. Again, this is Derek Carr's year or break year. He doesn't play this well, he might as well retire. So when I first looked at these games a couple of weeks ago, I like the Saints in game 1.
Okay, very good. Let's go to the afternoon slate, and then, of course, the evening I'm going to include in this one, being that it's the shorter end of the pool. So, moving on, Raiders at the LA Chargers. The Chargers are a 3-point favorite. They were 3.5, got bet down pretty quickly. It's now 40.5 for the total. Commanders and Bucks, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 3.5. Total 43.5. Broncos up in Seattle, the Seahawks, 5.5 was the opener. It's 6 right now. The total's 42. Cowboys and Browns, Cleveland, 2.5. The total 42.5. And then in the evening at 5:20 p.m., LA Rams at the Detroit Lions. The Lions are 3.5 better. Totals 50.5. We'll leave Monday at the very end. Randy, start us off. What do you like here in the afternoon?
Rams-Lions, a marquee game. Stafford going against his old team. I think both of these teams, I think you're going to see the Rams bounce back from where they were at last year. I have the Lions as one of the top teams in the league. This is a great game. And, again, this is the Sunday night game. This game could have a lot of points. This could be your 30-27 game. You got to give the Lions a little nod at home. And, again, I just love this coach and I love this team. It reminds me of, believe it or not, Silver and Blue right here in town. Little motivation. They do some crazy things with the football on the offensive side. I like the Lions in a real close one. I have this as a field goal game. So, whether or not you take the Lions, take them maybe on just the money line. And, again, the other one, obviously, Antonio Pierce going up against the Chargers and Harbaugh, first game as a professional head coach. So, obviously, this has some marquee value. And, again, what teams show up here? Whether Herbert finally has something around him that maybe he can do on the offensive side. And again, motivation, Antonio Pierce has got the Raiders believing. So the question is, the quarterback spot for the Raiders still is questionable to me. I'm still shocked that they didn't really make a move, but this is going to be a good ball game.
Okay, so Randy, look, hold on. That's the beauty here of my side here from the counter. There's a hook here on this Rams-Lions game. Now, it's 3.5. You like the Lions on the money line. However, because you think it's a field goal game, you're not going to go and let our wonderful listeners hear. Why don't you grab the 3.5, or what are we doing here?
No, I'm going to take the Lions at 3.5. But
thank you.
Because obviously we want that pick to come out there.
3.5.
But I think this is going to be a great game.
Okay.
And I would not be a bit surprised, even though I'm betting the Lions, that this game comes down to a field goal at the end of the game.
So you're rooting against yourself?
I'm not rooting myself. I just know tradition, Sunday night TV opening game, but last possession will determine the outcome of this game.
Okay, well, you gave an awful lot of rah-rah also with the Raiders and Chargers here. This game is at 3, but you never gave your exact
Chargers
position.
Are going to win this 27-17.
Okay, that sounds like a cover to me then.
Yeah.
Nick, afternoon slate. What jumps?
I really like the Bucks coming out against the Commanders. Rookie quarterback. I think Baker Mayfield's kind of putting something together down there in Tampa. So I kind of like that one a lot. So
Okay.
I think Bucks by 7 pretty easily there.
Very nice. Okay. The last game, of course, is Monday night on the 9th of September. Jets and Niners. We've waited what feels like maybe an eternity for Aaron Rodgers, and he's finally back. He's healthy, and he's absolutely got this team ready to play in the Bay Area. The Niners, 3.5. This number has been bet down from way long time ago, where we saw probably near 5.5. I even attempted a 6, and that was not to be had. It got bet down to its current number here Thursday, The Niners 3.5. The total 43.5. Nick, take this one away.
Just look at the Niners' record against AFC teams. It does not look good. I mean, you think of their losses last year, a majority of them came against AFC teams. Obviously, Jets have a good defense. There is kind of some inside knowledge with the old defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
Been a couple years now, so I think it's going to be a great game, great opener. But personally, I'm not touching it. But if I was going to pick something, If I was going to pick something, I would definitely take that over a 43.5 because I do feel like there's going to be some scoring.
Well said. Randy, obviously lots of pieces were questioned on the Niners side, but Trent Williams obviously signed. He's locked in once again as probably the premier tackle that we've seen in a decade plus, so he's ready to go on Monday night. Obviously, the Brandon Ayuk thing's been figured out, so they're fully loaded. Will it be enough to cover the spread here, though?
Turn out the lights, the party's over. This game, to me, is embarrassing because I don't think there's going to be a lot of points scored in this game. I really believe 49ers could win 17-10. And I question Aaron Rodgers. And again, it'll be interesting to see how he does with the heat because it's going to be pressure coming. And I still question. Jets have a good defense, but 49ers win. But I think this is a very low-scoring game.
Appreciate the actual score that he gives out as well here. So if you want to go ahead and parse that out, yes, that is a Niner cover, a Niner money line play, and obviously under the total there. Gentlemen,
is there a prop that Aaron Rodgers makes it through game one? And nothing to take away. I'm not wanting injury.
Are you this just reeks of bad juju is for what I'm hearing.
I'm just wondering, how many games do we have him playing throughout the season?
17.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
We're going to wrap this beautiful, incredible.
To that point, who's starting quarterback in Denver now?
Well, that would be Mr. Nix. Absolutely.
And he looked very good.
He is the starter, and he looks very, very sharp for a rookie. Okay. Pretty complex playbook, and it looks like he picked up an awful lot of it. By the way, even Zach Wilson looked pretty good. We'll cover Denver. Eventually, they'll make their way into the conversation, but probably not this week as we wrap up this wonderful first episode back in our home here at the Book at Baldini's. What I want to wrap up every episode this regular football season with, Survivor. Gentlemen, you're going to survive in advance, and this one really is one for the bookkeeping. Mm-hmm. What we're going to do here is you're going to give out a pick that you feel is just your lock. Forget about a point spread. I just want a pick that you feel is very comfortable with to win on a money line. Okay, and then we're going to back that up by actually giving out a Survivor pick. And a Survivor, of course, you need to make one selection. The team advances. You move on to the next week. Most pools work this way. Obviously, if you pick them, you can no longer pick them for the rest of the year. Thus, we will be tracking this. I will be tracking this very closely. So, Nick, why don't you start off with your pick that you feel is just as confident as you can. You want to push full send on, and then if it happens to be your Survivor pick as well, let me know. How you want to start off with the full send?
I like the Buccaneers. Definitely getting 3.5, playing the Commanders. My Survivor pick so far this year, I think I'm going to start with the Saints over the Panthers.
Excellent. A little bit of a zig because obviously seems, if you look at the point spread we called back to the very beginning, looks like Cincinnati is, as the largest favorite, seem to be the one that might be the most obvious selection. So I appreciate you going against the wave. Something to keep in mind, as you know, perhaps Cincinnati might have better spots down the road. Not so much the Saints.
Just to that point, if I can get the Saints at -3 or -3.5, I'd probably take them. But I still like the Bucs over the Commanders too.
Tampa Bay to just win outright. However, your Saints is the Survivor pick for week number 1.
Exactly.
Randy White, same question. Start off with.
I'm going Saints. This was the one that I had looked at a couple of weeks ago. Again, I like this one. And again, I'm all about Derek Carr. He has to play better than he has in previous seasons. And again, Dennis Allen knows what he has on this ball club. And they've made some improvements. I like the Saints at home.
This is great. You know what? This makes me very, very happy. Lots of great spice at the end of this episode. I was hoping I was not really hoping I wasn't going to hear the Cincinnati Bengals. It was just going to be the easier choice. So, of course, ladies and gentlemen, of course, always appreciate you tuning in here on this great episodes. If you like what you hear and you hopefully end up using this advice here of our bettors to a little bit of profit your way, then even better. See what I did there? Do like and subscribe. Of course, don't forget to do that. And hope to get to see you all when you come on by to the counter. Obviously, we're going to have all of these great NFL games here on our side, our sports book, and of course inside our lounges and our bars here at Baldini's. Gentlemen, the Saints on both ends of the stick for Survivor. Great episode. Thank you so much.
I've got the stash money ready to bet this year. I got my stash money. She hasn't found it. She hasn't found it yet. So I've got money to start on week 1.
This has been a great Thursday. Hope to see most, if not all of you, here to watch the Ravens and Chiefs, and of course, Packers, Eagles, and every other game here at the Book of Baldini's. For Randy Wyke and for Nick Schulte, I'm your host, Robert Kowalski. Thank you so much. It's been yet another episode of The Bookie and the Bettors. Have a great weekend.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you for listening to The Bookie and the Bettors Show. Don't miss out. Subscribe now and be the first to know when new episodes drop. Hit that subscribe button and join us.